Okay, the last couple problems here for the second video are going to switch over to using the calculator to help us out with a few visual things. So list all possible rational zeros from your calculator to determine which ones are the actual zeros. So when you're doing the P over Q list 12, has a pretty good list. Then put that over 2. Now you got a really good list. If you do all the possibilities, of course you got your others you would have would be 1 over 2, 3 over 2, and then the rest would be repeats. So if you go just try to get them all figured out, 1 over 2 over 1, 2 over 2, 3 over 2, 4 over 2, 6 over 2, you know, and so on, right? But if you look at the list, 16 possibilities. So we don't want 16 possibilities, and we don't want we don't want to have to synthetic test, for 16 possibilities, because that's a crazy amount of testing, and who knows how long it would take. So what the calculator is going to do, real simple, is just help us narrow this down. You guys don't need to enter into your calc. I'm just going to show you quick. So I've got the equation in. Here's the graph. And now what I can do is go back to my possible list and say, all right, which ones do I think it is? Well, it looks like I got 1, 4, -1, and looks like -3 halves. So you may be asked to just kind of, use your calculator to help speed it up in a problem like this, just to kind of practice with finding zeros and then going, hey, zeros translate to x-intercepts. I got a monster list, but my calculator will help me narrow it down. Another use of the calculator would be the inequality problem. So first of all, with the inequality problem, we don't have to use the calculator, of course. We can synthetic test. This list is not terrible. It's still pretty good size, the factors of 18. And so if I start synthetic testing, which I'm going to do, and then we'll go to the graph for a sec, and I'm going to just try -1. The reason I'm doing -1 is because I know it works. And so I got it. Now, if you guys look at the coefficients, can you tell that they actually factor by grouping from the 4 numbers that are there? And if the second pair is a multiple of the first pair, then the answer is yes, this does factor by grouping. So I'm going to kind of finish up by doing the algebra first before we run to the calculator. So as a list of zeros, I have -1 by synthetic, 2, -3, and 3. Now, if we were doing this in chapter 1, we would have went ahead and put all these on a number line, which we can still do that. So -3, -1, 2, and 3. But if you guys think about the visual of this, if you look at its graph, that's kind of hard to see. Tell you what, let's go to the calculator. The calculator will give you the visual aspect of this too, and if you think about the y values, you can answer this question pretty easily. So let me go in and just show you guys the other version quick here. So I'm going to turn this one off, turn this one on, just so we can see just the one, and graph. Now if you check it out, you're going to see us hit all of our intercepts here in a sec, so here they come. There's -3. Sorry, let me check that equation. Something's not entered in correctly there. Well, okay, so let's just look at the intervals for a second here. What I was trying to show you, my graph's not matching up for some reason, but we're going to just go with it. All right, let's do this. Thought I'd make it easier by using the calculator, and actually I made it a little bit harder. But hang tough here for a second. So here's the graph of that. Not sure what happened to my calculator, but -3, -1, 2, and 3. And what you guys notice as the inequality goes, if I'm looking for less than 0, what I'd be looking for is all the negative y values. So there's negative y, and there's negative y. So if I have the graph, and I can use my calculator, I don't need to do number line testing. I can tell you that on the interval -3 to -1 would be part of my solution, and 2 to 1 would be the other part of my solution, because those are my negative y values. Now, if we're asking to go without the calculator, then yes, you got to go ahead and do number line testing. So we go back to testing like we always would and look for our sign chart and have that match our inequality. So either way is going to work. Depends on what the directions are. Okay, that's the end of the videos for section 3.4. That should be enough to get you guys going.